Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Moving Markets Podcast. It is Wednesday, the 3rd of September, 2025. U.S. stock market has been open for just about 30 minutes right now. Mixed picture in the markets this morning. You've got the Dow Jones Industrial Average is down, not dramatically down, 186. I think it's been down almost 200 points at one time. May have touched 200 points down. It's been close to break even already this morning. I know it's only been 30 minutes, but a quick peek at the intraday one-day chart, and you can see that it started to the downside, went up. I don't know if that got to break even or maybe slightly in the green when it was right there, but then it's gone very steadily down, almost down 200 points now. But you've got the opposite picture going on with the NASDAQ and the S&P. S&P not quite as high as it has been. It was up 25 or 30 points, up 20 right now. And the NASDAQ up 194. And the NASDAQ is picking up a little bit of steam in just this first 30 minutes. It's doing kind of a steady, somewhat steady. Over a longer period of time, that would look much more steady, even though there's a lot of bounces in there. But it's kind of bouncing its way up higher and higher, and it looks like it might be up as much as a couple hundred points. And it looks like it just crossed over the 200 point mark on the NASDAQ. AMD is up. Meta is up, Microsoft is up a little bit, Nvidia is up a little bit, PA&W down just a little bit, Palantir up a little bit. So even within the Nasdaq, you've got maybe a little bit of a mixed picture. Coreeave down a little bit. Right now, as we're speaking, the news information is coming out on the JOLTS numbers. Let's see if we can get a real quick peek at this. The number of job openings was projected to be 7.38. It came in at 7.18. You've also got durable goods was expected to be 1.1. It came in at 1.0, a small miss on that. Does not look like either of those are having any kind of a dramatic impact right now on the markets. Dow down not quite as much as it was, NASDAQ about the same, and we're talking just like in the last minute or two. The Fed, this has stayed pretty much the same as since yesterday afternoon. This hasn't changed at all. You saw me, if you saw yesterday afternoon's podcast, you saw me reference this Fed futures fund rate, what the market is predicting the Fed will do on their next meeting. That was 91.7 at the end of the day yesterday. Hasn't changed at all with this new information that came out this morning, although it potentially could change. We'll refresh it and see if it does anything different. Nope, staying exactly the same. So still the markets are betting on a Fed rate cut in a week and a half. Actually, I think it's, is it exactly 2 weeks? I think 2 weeks from today that we'll get that Fed rate decision. So we'll see if that holds true. There is more economic data coming out this week and next that could potentially move that needle. As you're well aware, we did not do any new trades yesterday. I'm looking at things today. I cannot guarantee or promise that we're going to do a new trade today. We're going to continue to manage what we have. We added some short options to Home Depot, both on the call and the put side. We need to, I will send out shortly an adjustment for those of you that might still be in the AMD trade. Meta was up a little bit today, sort of not looking great for the bear call spread that we're in now, but it's backed way off of where it was. It was up near 740. Now it's only up to 736. As long as it stays below 745, even for another full day of trading, if it stays below 745, we can probably exit that trade and get back a lot on Meta, be in not such a bad spot on Meta. Nvidia, interesting on Nvidia, for those that were in the regular SOS spread trade, we got out yesterday with some profit. For those that were in the triple play trade that had the strikes a little bit different, we'd like to see Nvidia sell off about $1.50 to $1.75 from where it's at right now. I think that will happen in the next day or two. I believe that you're going to see Nvidia not have a massive rebound. I think today is going to be a little bit of a one-off. I think it's going to come back down, and eventually, whether it's this week or next, I think it's going to come down and test 165. I think today is a little bit of a recovery from a big sell-off yesterday. People are going to be buying the dip a lot, and that's why if we do get a general market correction or a correction on any one of these stocks that we follow and that we trade on a regular basis, I think what you're going to see is a very choppy correction. I think there's going to be dips and people are going to buy a little bit. It's not going to be quite enough to get it back into bearish trend, and then you're going to see more of a dip and then a little bit of a buy and then more of a dip and then a little bit of a buy. Everyone is going to have FOMO and not want to miss buying the next dip. So that's something that we're going to have to watch very close with any new trade that we do this week, next, the week after. We're going to have to really be cautious in watching those little back and forth. We might have an overall trend that's in a direction that we want, whether it's up or down, but it's going to be very, very choppy as it does that. And that makes trading trickier. I would rather have a very slow, gradual trend in one direction, or something that skyrockets or the bottom falls out from underneath in the direction that we want it to have. It's the choppy back and forth that can make things very, very tricky. So we'll just have to keep a close eye on that and really watch it. I don't have much more than that today. I know normally these podcasts are in the neighborhood of 15 to 20 minutes. I almost feel guilty when I go less than 10 minutes. I guess the one other thing I'll say is we did make adjustments to several of our collar trades yesterday. We adjusted Nvidia, Palantir, and Uber. I'm looking at Bank of America and Ford. Let me talk for just a minute about Ford real quick. I've made a lot of money in Ford over the years. I've had Ford as a part of my portfolio, I want to say, for over 25 years now. I've made a lot of money off the dividend in Ford. I own in my personal portfolio, not an exact mirror of this collar trade sheet. I own a lot of shares of Ford. I am leaning very, very strong toward liquidating Ford completely. It's the dividend is okay, but I'm interested in something that has more growth than Ford has shown. If you look at a longer term chart, we've got a 6-month chart up here. Let's look at a chart over the last 5 years. Get out there really long term. This to me is kind of a go nowhere stock. There's literally 3.5 to 4 years right there that Ford has stayed pretty much between $8.50 and $12.50 a share, and it's been, it's spent months at a time in tighter ranges than that. There's almost a year right there where it was in a much tighter range than that. There's 8 months or more that it's in a much tighter range than the 5-year range. It feels to me like this company is going nowhere. You might want to keep it as a part of your portfolio. I'm going to decide within the next day or two whether or not I'm going to liquidate Ford and no longer have it be a part of my collar trade portfolio. I personally have a lot of money in Ford that I think might be put to better use on a collar trade somewhere else. I'm not off to the best start collar trading wise. I'm not off to the best start in Coreeave, but I am long term very, very bullish on Coreeave. I'm considering liquidating 100% of my Ford position and putting all of it into more shares of Coreeave and collar trading a bigger number of shares on Coreeave. So I'll let you know in the next day or two if I decide to do that. And then Bank of America, we will probably get an adjustment to Bank of America and SoFi sometime in the near future. Near future meaning the next couple of days. So I'm going to wrap up right there. I don't have a lot. I may have a new trade by the end of the day. I may wait another day. It's possible we don't do any new trades this week and that we add more than the normal number of trades next week and the week after. But I'm going to be cautious this month as I add new trades into the portfolio and do some things that are super flexible, maybe some things that have a very, very high probability with a small return. Like maybe look for some 10 to 12% trades that just have a super high probability of hitting that 10 to 12%, and just be a little more conservative in that respect. So I'll be watching Discord all day today. I'll be back on live tomorrow morning. I'll make sure you get an email or something on Discord if I decide to add a new trade. All right. Have a great rest of your Wednesday, everyone. Thanks. Bye-bye.